pressure, don't do it, just walk the beach.
Hey, you ready for the video?
Yes.
Let's do it. Perfect. Conscious practice. What's conscious? This is Vish and
Sean,
today we'll be responding to Sadhguru's video on
why does stress happen?
My name is V. I'm an aspiring yogi, level things, meditation, yoga, and wisdom based. Super grateful to have Sean here on the show. Want to introduce yourself?
My name is Sean. I am from Katy, Texas. I am a corporate finance major at UT.
Have you heard of a guy named Sadhguru before?
No.
Well, with that being said,
Let's get into the video.
What you have to do in the world is different. How you do it is different. When you talk about pressure, you're not talking about what to do and what not to do, you're talking about how of life. If running a design school is becoming a big pressure, living as a business person is becoming a pressure, don't do it, just walk the beach. But there also pressure, isn't it? So the pressure is not because of the job or the position that you've taken. Pressure and stress is happening because you do not know how to conduct your body, how to conduct your mind and how to conduct your emotions. This human mechanism, this is the most sophisticated gadget on the planet. Have you read the user's manual? That's the whole problem. If you deal with that, outside situations are a play. To what extent can you play? Maybe you cannot play like me, but you will play to the best of your capability and that's fine. You don't have to play like somebody else, but you must play to the best of your capability. If that doesn't get explode, when you're pressured, it will not get explode. When you're pressured, when you're stressed, you will not live to your full capability. Even the silly things cannot be done when you're under pressure. If you're in a certain level of calmness and sweetness within you, your body and your intelligence will work at its best. So, this is about playing this life out. This is not about proving something to somebody. It is just that if you want to succeed, it's only success that ultimately everybody around you will respect, okay? If you want to succeed, you must learn to harness your physical body and your mind the fullest possible way. So only two things. And of course, harnessing the external situations, but that harnessing the external situations essentially depend upon how well you can harness your own intelligence and your body. Now when you're creating pressure, on one level what it means is, your intelligence has turned against you. It's not working for you, it is working against you. Nobody has to cause misery to you, you're in self-help.
So you're saying that happiness can only come when you achieve success and not
No,
by being
no,
insignificant
I didn't say
or
anything
unknown
like
or-
that. I'm saying only if you're happy, your body and mind will function at their best. If they function at their best, depending upon your individual competence and the situations around us, how they play out. Your success is not just about your competence, there's also a situation. How all these things come together, that will lead to a certain level of success. So I'm saying the way you are is the first step, what you do is the next step. But everybody is trying to fix it the other way around and it'll never work.
so Sean, what's your first impression after watching that video?
I think a lot of what he said makes sense, and I think he probably has a decent understanding of how to be like comfortable as you are and how to like use stress as both a tool to like improving yourself and also like achieving your goals, whatever that may be.
I see, yes, a great interpretation there. And also with that being said, I know you mentioned off camera that you don't tend to be stressed, is that true?
Yeah, or maybe a better phrasing is, I don't think the stress that I have is ever like detrimental to me.
So stress is a normal thing for most people, and I would say even for me too, to an extent. But you're saying for you that it's really negligent or it's just marginal?
Or let's say like if there's an exam that I need to study for and I start getting stressed for that and like it causes me to study more, that's like usually I use like stress as like a reference, if that makes sense.
Okay, so like a healthy amount of stress is beneficial potentially.
I think so. It's just really easy in today's age to get overstressed because your standards can get kind of all over the place whenever you're like constantly comparing yourself to other people.
That's a great point there. And I guess with that being said, I'm curious because it's something I've been reflecting on too for a while, which is, so the way he puts it from the video itself, almost I think the best case scenario is that you want to be having zero stress. And if you're in this like blissful state, then you will be able to function at your best. And I think I could see that, right? But then on the other hand, unless you're truly conscious or you're aware of what you're doing, I feel like there might be a little bit of a leeway to just do something else, right? And not study, for example. Right. Where do you lay in this sort of perspective game?
Well, I think for people that like feel as if they have like zero stress, it's probably framed as like something that doesn't feel like a pressure upon them. And like whenever they have to kick it into high gear or like get themselves to do something, that stress like probably manifests itself in other internal driving forces, but they don't like perceive as stress because it's all about like the way that we like individually perceive things.
That's again another great point there. How you perceive it, and is it even stress? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's possible, right? Are you also open to the possibility of people maybe having literally no stress? Is that possible?
I think so. There are some people that probably like can be not stressed and are able to perform to the best of their ability, just like on demand. And I'm sure that's probably like the best. Like that's probably the best like thing to have out of all of those options.
Yeah, 100%. And with that being said, I want to add this in, which is I love the way he kind of framed this whole basically path for how people, he recommends should go about life. And we tend to basically have these materialistic goals and use these goals to almost put forth our happiness. And our happiness is essentially the byproduct of achieving these goals. And as a result of that, in the progression of trying to achieve these set goals, people are harming themselves, both physically, mentally, and that's where stress comes into place. And then it's an interesting phenomenon where people, when they even achieve that state of quote-unquote success, they are not even happy, right? And it's because you've literally been pretty much just hurting yourself in the process. And so I think what I love about this reframing of the strategy is that he's basically encouraging people to first be at a state of happiness and calmness and peace. Then you start achieving these things. How do you feel about that whole take?
I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, there are like a lot of people in the world that have been conditioned to, like, I guess maybe that's a crude word, but like conditioned to like value a lot of materialistic things. And then, like you'll hear people in like in their 40s or 50s talk about like very successful job, but they had to like sacrifice family life or social life and how that like left them unhappy. And I kind of feel like, all right, as like a 20-year-old, I'd probably like, that makes sense to me, like you don't want to have to sacrifice like everything to achieve these materialistic goals that might not like necessarily fulfill you. So I think what the man in the video is saying like makes a lot of sense, because if you like know who you are and are like at peace with yourself, you probably also know what you want more clearly than a person that like is unhappy with themselves. So like it's almost like you provide clarity to like the person that you are and the things that you want, and then you like be in a better position to like do the things that you need to do what you want to do.
Again, great perspective there, Sean. That was really very insightful. And just to add on to that real quickly, I think a lot of us, we tend to, again, be at a very unfulfilled state, and because of that internal condition, we tend to try to find our happiness in all these external things, whether it's relationship, materialistic stuff, whatever, right? And because fulfillment is just not, I would say from my experience, it's not possible to be completely happy from these things. People constantly chase, right? And they keep on going and they're just not happy. So anyways, I want to take this second to thank you, Sean, for being here. You had a great perspective. If you have any other video reaction requests, topics, or guests that you want to see on the show, I want you to comment down below. Also, would love to hear your views on what I've shared, what Sean has shared, or even what the Guru shared. Let us know in the comments down below. And with that, make this a great day. Take this joyful and stay conscious. Awesome job, Sean. You did great.
Of course. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.